I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the leadership of the party again for say a very good afternoon to we all, especially the members of the 4th Estate. This is the 3rd or 4th press conference that we are having here at the party office for updates from the members of the Tripartite Committee charged with the responsibility of reviewing and reforming our electoral processes in this country. We as a party, we don't promise with membership say, from time to time, whatever development they happen at the committee, we will ensure say the committee come to we as members and the entire nation for give them updates, for give them the right information as to what really they happen at the committee, how far they don't go, and what else left for do. And today we are here again for hearing from the members of that committee. But before we get to them, we also know say we need at the party headquarters. The APC party that we head of is this. And the head of this secretariat, whether the National Secretary General, they are with we, for let anything happen at this office, again for sanction and again for approval. So for that we still don't find, I will call on the National Secretary General for giving welcome statement, Comrade Lansana Dumbuya Esquire. I want for first and foremost, on behalf of the party, the leadership, I want for tell our president thank you for come attend this press conference. And the reason why I believe say the press conference so within a very short period of time, just yesterday, we get to know for Kenya. And because we want to know exactly what they happen at the party. Since the last press conference, we don't do a lot. The leadership of the party don't do a lot. And I want to make people know say the responsibility what we give to the Tripartite Committee where like them we then for today for make them address we on the issues them where they na table and how they don't carry on with their work. We will get all the feedback from them. But I believe say we cannot talk about Tripartite. I'm not saying that Tripartite we all the wait for. We all the wait for Tripartite. But I want to tell you say as we wait for Tripartite, we all do the party work, not so. Because anything we go up on the Tripartite, if you don't make the party fine, if the party not do work, then a problem. But I want to caution we all today. Do you at the baby now? Let we all allow the Tripartite Committee for do that. Let we all allow the Tripartite Committee for do that. Let's say people don't want to do that too. I want you to hear loud and clear. Let we all allow the Tripartite Committee for do that. For do that. And in that regard, we are with a beguna. For now, we don't want to go into that area where they talk about God or we run. We don't want government to talk say there will be no we run. We serve no patient until we get the outcome. Not so. If they say there is no we run, then sometimes we say there is a we run. But we don't want to go into that. You let me not go there. Let me wait for let the Tripartite Committee come with the result. When they come with the result, then at that time we will begin to talk waiting with the talk.
And let me tell you now, when you get good reports from the Tripartite committee, when you get good reports from them, we must get good reports from them. So do you have to be all patient? The work with them depend. Not of kalu woko, not of piki woko, but you know, they want them back when they are on board, when they cost the committee. Enough fear. Let me be honest. Enough fear. When you don't depend the work, you don't go understand. Therefore, you can talk, you can castigate. They say elephant's egg, not to begin, no. Yeah, because sometimes we are not going to know. But the kind of way some of you can talk, when some of we can talk, because of the mix myself there, how can they treat the Tripartite committee? But if you self there, you go discourage small. Because they unblock you. The kind of seal way forget work, then they pull that seal by you. So do you make we not pull that seal by the Tripartite committee? Make we give them a chance or make them do their work. And at their show, I say we will get good reports from them. The only thing I want to know, we get to be realistic. When you go for take exam, you go want to get 100%. But if you get 80% or 70% so school and an A plus or not so, you pass. Good one. So the only thing we want from the Tripartite committee, do you have Tripartite committee, we will give you A plus. If you know it's 100%, we will give you A plus. We're going to pass the exam. Now, before I hand over the mic, a lot of good for me, for make I pass this mic. I not tell you and say, the country, it don't poto. And when I say don't poto, I not say, the one that when they govern now, they're not going to like me because I say don't poto. But however you look to themselves, even the one that we call themselves, say they're not dead and dead, themselves not say the country don't poto. Because when you make us say so, look at the economy now. I know we're going to detail. We PRO, you don't go on radio, you don't analyze the great CDR Tunis. Making saying I know we check and the executive. Una clap for them. Now so una go clap for una one national publicity secretary. Una clap for CDR Tunis. I tell you now, they do a very good work. They do a very, very good work. But you know this one, any I work there, no mind no, somebody you must criticize small, so don't worry, just carry on with your work. Look the kind of way price then they go up. Look the tariffs then. Anything now, price them go up. The price where you go meet today, if you go to Marah, 5 times the price. We don't need service like that one. We left, APC left us 160,000 for back. Now we don't go 1,500,000. So, you know, something and there, people are not one, people are not talking to. But some then kind of we have not talking, we say, like it's them.
Oh, you are selling that. Now 1 million.
Look, the guy transport people in the pay now. They pay you salary. When they pay you salary, you don't even buy it, you don't even pay transport for come back that month. The one where people that have been managed with, when they take college with Gary, look how much for cup Gary now, how much they charge for 1 cup Gary. You don't get less 1 cup and Gary, but now you don't even go for the Gary again. Now, assure, say salon don't regress, don't go back 20 years back. The way how we left this country, they don't care and go beyond 20 years back. Look at the light. Will not be the things that will come and black out again.
No.
Will not be things that will come and black out again. The kind of way black out there now. I'm not thinking make action now. This is a bit confused. I confuse and make action now. The kind of way black out there now and where we there from 2000 to 2007, which one pass? Now this pass, and I don't fail. I will tell now why. Because that same day the lights not been too get peak, but now when APC been there, the lights been also stable that all man be not collapse, the lights not going to be a problem again. That time then we have not been stable, so the light not going to be a problem. But now we have actually not stable, then they got some power, we want to like that. We will get for call press conferences for address the issues, they're in a tripartite. But if I don't talk, say the country don't put that one day, una say for na go na host na go say, hey, Secretary General and the party leadership, they don't do well for you. So what for tell them say, do ya this push business? We always don't have the responsibility for address the push business. We don't go press conference like this, we don't talk about push. We all get responsibility as citizens of Sierra Leone to ensure say we eradicate the push problem with them in the country. Whether na you neighbor or whether na you or whether na anybody or let we try to address them. And we try to advise the government. Say, do that state of emergency. Una use them, come no say una don't pass now. Una use them like responsible people level. Una not go take them for begin arrest APC people them, go begin chakra people them, take advantage from people them say because state of emergency day. If una do that, we no go greet today, we no go greet tomorrow, and we no go greet table. Well, we get plenty things for talk, but we no go talk at one day. And as I talk so, I know say the person who did this press conference today, he go to say, Secgen, this not to a press conference. I know say they're going to talk that they are saying Secgen, this not to a press conference. And I agree with that. This not to be press conference. And therefore, I will rest the case and I will allow the National Publicity Secretary for continue with the program. But I tell you, say, in the struggle of the APC.
Thank you very much. The National Secretary General don't welcome you in a different way. In a way more appropriate than ever before. They don't talk on plenty things them. Tomorrow morning, I will do Liberty TV. Liberty Online TV for continue for talk on them things the way the Secretary General don't touch on. The thing that way they happen in our country, the economy, the life business, the health business and all. We don't go back to them days where we doctor that they use torchlight for deliver the need our hospital. May God bless the APC, may God bless Alex Baikoma. We will not forget anything. Now we come to the reason why we are. We are for hearing from the members of the Tripartite Committee. There will be the special work for do for we in this country. They don't go so far, they don't do plenty things there. They don't go around the country and they just don't come back. I will hand over now to the co-chair of that committee day for making candy. Now the party and the country will continue for their better understanding as to waiting really they happen and waiting left for happy and waiting there for happen in the future. And at the pay here, I know say we all get different way how we they process or how we they take waiting they pass on to we. But how they plead. I also, as the publicity secretariat, we invite the mainstream media, we invite the online media platform them, and we invite we all media groups them, because we want to make them able, that we all able, for pass on the right information with them people are the GUI to the membership of the party, particularly, and to the nation generally. On that note, I will now hand over to Dr. Kaifala Marah, who is the co-chair of the Tripartite.
Okay, don't really come up now. Okay, Osai. Osai. Correct. Okay. I want to stand on existing protocols. But to now allow me to say, Mr. Chairman, and our National Chairman, our Deputy National Chairman, we National Secretary General, the brother in 2023 and today 2018 running mate, other members of the National Executive Body, I see the Publicity Secretary, and the Deputy National Organizing Secretary and the Deputy for the Publicity Secretary, my own brothers and sisters who are members of the Tripartite Committee, my big brother, Chief Kemosi said, and other dignitaries of the party, including Una all, good afternoon. Today, before we go into the update, Una kindly allow me to say thank you at various levels. My committee members and me want to continue to say a big thank you to the national leadership of the party for the confidence we get in we and give me this sacred and major responsibility on behalf of the party. We want to tell them thank you. On the other hand, personally, I want to say thank you to members of the Tripartite Committee. Now, because we work well, because of the cohesion and the way we work, we don't make this kind of progress. Here, I want to make you join me for tell them thank you. That are members of the committee. Tona, the All People's Congress Party, on behalf of the team, I want to say thank you, Tona, for the patience we don't exercise to date. But on top of all of this, we at the committee want to say we will not get no complaint. They take leadership and responsibility. We know the conflict. We know the crumble. We continue for do this type of work in Kiwi. One long man also will not complain at all. Therefore, continue for do this work. Comrades, before I go further, allow me to take you back a bit. About 20 this Tripartite committee day about. When I recall, after last year June elections, we get stand up, we get some disagree with the result. Not also the party on top of that result say no participate in governance. That MPs no go to parliament, and councillors no go to council. We get a stand up. I'll just try for refresh memory. Then the international community, including the Peace Commission and the country, step in. One mean the international community, no embassy no in this country will not be concerned. We get 3 agencies then, 3 international bodies we come in. We are the African Union, the Commonwealth Secretariat, and ECOWAS. Then join hands with the Peace Commission and ask that we mighty party, the All People's Congress Party, and government go sit down round the table and find way for address this challenge and don't face them. When I recall, that mediation talk they take place between the 16th and the 18th of October 2023. It take place in Pintumani. I'm sure we all recall. We meet on the 16th and on the 17th, on the 18th. Both sides, which will mediate us welcome from outside the country, we sit down around the table after the 2 days talk. On the 3rd day, now come up with the National Unity Agreement. That National Unity Agreement gets 8 resolutions. That are 8 points. 8 things where we, APC and government for. But we have responsibility as a Tripartite committee. That resolution 3 no more, 9 our focus, 9 our responsibility. That's now for examining the 2023 elections, including previous ones. Take a look at all of them, whether the voter registrations, elections, results, and all other issues where we need for new findings, and then we'll make recommendations. And then recommendations and then for be actionable and implementable, meaning for take action and for ensure that it will be implemented. Other resolutions and they go all aware of. So one key thing they will be very relevant we have to keep at the back of our mind as we go. That resolution 8 will create a committee of moral guarantors. The people are will come up from outside, including the diplomat, including Council of Paramount Chiefs, interreligious bodies, civil society, you name them, all the major stakeholders, they all for come together, form one committee for being the committee of moral guarantors. Therefore, accompany the process for ensure that all the things they will agree on that National Unity Agreement for take place. So even when we could not make recommendations, this committee of moral guarantors therefore they are the foot and the heels of the APC and government for ensure that their recommendations that they for be implemented. I hope we are the follow. But waiting at this Tripartite committee, allow me to remote and that one is small. Tripartite means 3-way. 3. For form that committee for look into elections. The first part of that committee now we, the All People's Congress. The second partners within that committee, the government. The third party, for that particular arrangement, are the international community. So now there are 3 bodies there for sitting around the table to do this work. I hope you get me. So, after consultation between the APC and government, we agreed that we forget 7 people from each side for be part of this committee, for form this committee. So now 7 from the APC side, they in that committee. Government side said yes and appoint 7 people for they in that committee. The international community said we want to play a role in the way we will help now. We no go send 7 people. But what we will do, the head of the UN at this country, when at the United Nations Resident Coordinator, he will candidate for represent the international community. Now they follow. So that co-chair, that lady, when at the head of the UN, Seraphine, I think they represent the whole international community in a co-chair. Government, here Dr. Emmanuel Gaima in a co-chair. In the APC, me, Kaifala, Marah, na co-chair. So we three are the 3 co-chairs when they lead this particular process. Now get me?
Yes, sir.
I hope you understand now. So decision making, anything what the committee they do, not only APC they go there for saying that that will happen, or government can they for saying that this will happen. No, we should not round the table. We don't get plenty some will be explained to at the last time. Tough one, sometimes we can go to scatter. All that talking can they, but at the end of the day, we will go back to the table and say, Lord, put Sierra Leone first. And that is why we don't make this progress. Now they follow. So, as APC, we make a commitment for say anything we do within that tripartite arrangement for keep the leadership and the general membership informed. They take the party along. So no surprises. So people know we say, but we are not being telling this, we are not being aware, and only those reach out they hear this. Now that to decide for you. And if you recall, I think it's not the number 3 or number 4 meeting who they get here. Not so? So when we start, we as APC, we own team, we decide say we get for put together we own terms of reference. Terms of reference means waiting to guide the work of the committee, the scope of the work, what will be examined, what will be reviewed, how far back we will go, how we work as a team. We have that terms of reference, how we want for making it, we can to Nanaya, we present them, we all look down, we approve, not also be. After we don't do the own, let's do the own draft. We go sit down now for conclude that terms of reference. We not only do that terms of reference, we do other documents, like the rules of proceedings, how we keep a meeting, how we form quorum. We come up with a communication framework. We so for set up a secretariat. We identify the kind of experts that we need. We do all the documents there. On the 6th of February, now the Tripartite Committee meets again at a press conference. Now Brookfield Hotel. We now wait the day, we now not the day, we review the thing like not so. We go there, that terms of reference, we sign up. On our call, while we sign that, with this committee, come back to this party, we say that these terms of reference now don't agree between we and government. Now this will get for you, now so and so we will get for you about them. And that terms of reference will share around to Nanaya again. And that terms of reference are public document. Unfortunately, we will not get always at this country. So today, I want to remind you and say, after we all learn and then we'll brief you now. Not so. The next stage, after we adopt in terms of reference, from that moment to which we don't know as here, as of yesterday, now that will be brief now from today. I hope you understand. You understand? Not so. Good. But before we do that, I want to let you know, in Willow estimation, we get 4 major phases. That is 4 stages of the work of the Tripartite Committee. Stage 1, now in-house preparatory work for in terms of reference, for agree, on many other things we look for guide we identify experts, everything we need for do, we do that. That's stage 1, and after that, we can brief you now. The next stage, now for prepare the country, for prepare all the institutions, the expert them for identify and bring them. Now for prepare the ground. After that ground stage, now for let the review take place. We'll do the review, we'll make the recommendations. That's now stage 3. The last stage now for implement the recommendations for the committee will make. This afternoon, we want for kindly taking our through. After we don't sign the MOU, which is so far the committee don't do. One of the first things now for reach out to partners. And I want me to join me for say a big thank you to the international community. The next thing we should don't say, okay, we don't get these terms of reference. How we get to the delivery framework, we identify 3 broad areas where we get for this review. And I want to listen very clear and make sure that get this. 3 areas then, now so we shape the work. The one area, now for look at all the election laws in this country. And ask yourself, no lawyer, then adequate, then good for we. Person can balance their lawyer, then we don't balance them, we don't manipulate them. In fact, that lawyer, they're really good. Like other good election laws in the world, don't compare them back. If you get weaknesses, especially with the one way in our constitution as well as the Public Elections Act, over time, we'll go for a look at all and make the relevant recommendations. The second thing we say, make we look at the institutions where they come together for due elections. Then they get them right, or when they get them right. But how about ECSL? Now so if for left, how the staffing arrangement did, how the decision making did, how the powers then did, and many other things we get to do with ECSL. ECSL meets international best practice, that the right institutions as it's supposed to happen elsewhere. So that's not institutional reform. Other one, all agreements. Okay. The last element. Okay. Number 3 segment Madabo, now elections management. Now they will get the result, the election results. Now don't get voter registration. about elections. I don't get voter education. And many other things. The relationship between the Civil Registration Authority and DCSL. How they transfer data. When voter ID business, all next thing they fall under that particular category. So, where every category they are, when the committee they work on. So the vice president now 7 on each side. So take 6. Take 2 for election laws. When I cover only face, when it stands on the law and the value, and then 2 go there for that particular section of the election law. Government says nominate 2 lawyers for joint union for look at election laws. Hello? Number 2. Number 2, for the institution for look at ECSL, we get 2. We get Comrade Ambassador Petito and Comrade Tolly, Cristoli. And then 2 we choose. The government get 2. Therefore, people there, they look at the institution when at ECSL. The 3rd segment, when at elections management itself, here Comrade Bunatroja and Comrade Kemikona on the north side, government self-appoint 2, therefore people there, and they look at that area. Then we sit down now for advice itself, how we move forward. We say, okay, we're not going to do this alone. But if we come by the election, that's not the whole number. So we need experts and can help you for this. So identify experts for all these areas. When my colleagues examine this one for sure, for explain to now, go to on all the areas, and we'll do that. But at a total of 11 expert areas. A total of 11 expert areas. We get the head of secretariat. We will pay the support. 90% of the support. We get other experts. We're responsible for institutional reform. With the German government they support. We get another expert. We're responsible for election standards. For standardizing elections to ensure that we meet those national best practices. And the UN basket for the support that. We get another expert. We look at elections management. The details on election. Then another the UN basket, then self they support that. Then results management expert for look at election results. We get another expert for look at voter register.
What is that?
We get another expert when you look at election security. We get another expert when you look at human rights around elections. We get another expert when you look at gender issues around elections. We get another expert when they look at voter registration issues. I don't mention that. We get another one when they look at voter education and civic voter education. So we get security, we get human rights, we get civic voter registration. civic education, or voter registration, they will get results management, and all them other experts go level. As we talk, a good number of the experts are now there on the ground. They expect one on week and 6th of May for joining. Other experts were responsible for look at election law. In done they are already, in fact they don't start for look at law. The one we're responsible for standards they are. The one responsible for elections management instead they are. They're all there on the ground now. The one that we left are the results management, the voter registration, human rights, and the legal team, they take care of that. Security expert will come. Civic voter registration, civic voter education will come. Including gender. We get expert on the ground with themselves. Let them do it. So why to achieve that as a committee? It's not easy. We therefore sit down as a committee, 7-7 on that side. The UN then sit down for giving the time who then would have to go for them to take time to do we say, okay, now we don't get the technical components right. But other things we won't forget right. We need for this house to come. We need to engage key stakeholders and government. Let them know the work of the Tripartite Committee. We start our salon. We got a clever Congress. We got a conference of principals. We got political parties. We got interreligious bodies. All walks of life, all professions. We try to invite them and go now Waterloo, that now Western Rural. We engage them on the work of the Tripartite Committee. Many things happen. Not of us just engage them, but for listen to them and learn from them. We as a committee create suggestion box so that somebody get any idea, they can write and put inside our box. And the suggestion to them is implemented. Whether you can produce the powers of appointing election commissioners, or whether you can produce proportional representation, or whether we need another fresh sense of all major things we could ever think around elections, people don't make suggestions, so we don't take note of them. The second one, we can waste time over Naya, that we do social, we get another, that's now on the 4th of April. So on the 4th of April, we get another engagement now. That's now for Freetown. And in all the engagement there, we get councillors, political parties, civil society, and the media on our way there. We get that meeting now. Hello? And then we split the Tripartite Committee into two. We meet some APC and government. The one team go northwest, we go Potloko, we did it for 2 days. Then move go Makeni, we did it for another 2 days. For cover all the districts in the northwest and the north. We don't get any engagement and they. And during the engagement and they will learn again from people there. The other team go to the south and the east. Then get districts. Then when they engage in the east and go as well in the south and get an engagement and they. We should really take the public along. We not pretend to get all the answers or the solutions. We do all the outreach and the engagement there for enriched process. So it will just be the idea or attention of 14 people only. No. We don't achieve that. Then we say, okay, for let this review happen, we'll not just get to sit down around the table and talk. No. What will inform this review? Now document them. So we identify entry teams there, sit down, and then young groups, identify the institutions them, And the kind of a document the world will need for inform this review. Now they follow. So we get the agencies that will identify. We don't even write for them. For make them produce document them. ECSL. Number 1. Number 2, National Civil Registration Authority. Number 3, Statistics Area. Number 4, PPRC. Number 5, ONS. Number 6, Sierra Leone Police. Number 7, Sierra Leone Military. All the agencies there, whether they for do to MAPI, whether they for do with providing security, whether they for do with violence, let them do the reporting of all the elections, the memorandum of understanding. Yeah. So they're all account themselves in not so. The first one ECSL, second one NCRA, like NCRA. How did they transfer data from NCRA to ECSL? The pictures and what we get, the register we can get from the civil register. How that they move, how to inform the voter registration process. We want that. They get MOU, how did it happen? We don't ask them for that. Statistics Sierra Leone, let's have a document of MOU between them and ECSL and anything, we don't ask for that. For ECSL, we don't ask for all the decision making. Every document we would imagine, what I get for do the voter registration process, what I get for do with decision, what I get for do the institution, what I get for do the election result for 2023 and the previous one, then we don't ask them all for the production. We don't ask ONS for the same. We don't ask Sierra Leone Police, Sierra Leone Military. All of them, 7. So we're happy for the doctor and I say, PPRC don't give me documents. ONS don't give me documents. Sierra Leone Police don't give me documents. Sierra Leone Military don't give me documents. Statistics Sierra Leone provide one document and refer me to the website, say the other document, and then the people must go there and look and download them. NCRA say they want to terms of reference, you don't send them to them. They say they will come back to me, they wait for them. Write this letter, I think now on the 22nd of March. By day before yesterday, I hold month. ECSL said the time will be needed be short. Extend the time. Then right back to me, they said they will provide document then beginning the 15th of April. We will wait for them document then come. So we decide say, while the time don't pass, we will write to them. Yesterday we write again to ECSL. When me and Coach have for sign, for me to go to them. Not only for me to go to them, but for people that partners them so they will not say, now so far we don't go and we still wait. Why we still wait? Because now partners and don't spend money, experts don't come on the ground, other documents and don't come, the work don't start in earnest and review process. But they tell you now, get for exercise patience. I hope not the lesson. We get for exercise patience. So next steps. Immediately then when they come, we and the experts there and then document they are now. We will sit around the table and take them, look at all of them. We're not there for one alone. When we reach that point, we will get this time briefing again. I hope that. So along the way, every nodal point, every point will reach a major point in junction, we inform una, not only una but the rest of Sierra Leone. Why we want to take una all along? So everybody will be part of the process. So una will be informed. Don't know what can pass me case. I think we are getting there. And we'll get a 6 months timeline. Approximately, we'll get about 8 weeks to go. But the good news is, we'll get so many experts on the ground, including we all around that table. And I can say, if you take a look at the years of experience of all 14 community members, the past 200 years experience in the public service, then including the expert the way down, we know we get them wrong. So at this juncture, I tell them, so don't write again to ECSL, not so, or let them come back. Then we'll come back to we. NCRA will come back to me. The honor who don't get, tell them thank you, will ask for additional document. Self-fully review start, we'll get for invite people from that institution for come and answer some questions or make some clarifications to me. I hope not to follow. Okay. But if I reach here, if I follow, no, with further clarification, let me know. The support level. The United States government put $1.5 million. I think everybody agreed that. The other time I read you, they say they see me brother, they want to gas. They go gas, you don't get money now. So, next thing I'll come to this. Now say, well, don't complain. But one time when I say that resources for the US government provide, now USAID they need. USAID, they get implementing partners, they get NDI, they get RI, they get IFES. Then why I said, get local NGOs who they get for work with, for give them responsibility for people. If they support work we get for do with we, or support part of the secretariat, then they go and directly to the secretariat. We committee members, not get 1 shilling, 1 level no, 1 cent no come to me. And I'm going to talk and publicly everybody know. Chairman said like clarify what's the secretariat. Not the ABC secretariat. And the Tripartite committee secretariat. President said I'm going to be so not to the ABC secretariat. And the Tripartite Committee Secretariat, which are the experts that they will they meet every Tuesdays and Thursdays. We'll get to timeline. But you don't reach a point where they will finally we share all of this tonight. I tell you that the support with the UK they do not only the head of secretariat, but they will provide experts and for support other areas and we get for doing with other resolutions inside the agreement. The US government not only support legal experts, but then there is some money where they don't keep for for support the recommendations they will get for me. So we tell them to implement so that we don't go there for say well, we don't support the review process, but money not there for implement. No, the US government say out of this one. Number two, the European Union, they set a jar for support in implementation. And I want people to join me for say kudos to we committee. So to start this work. If government supports come later to members of the committee, who will meet. I want to touch on something very, very important for you all. I tell them I say we don't ask for documents and not so. Yes, would expect the document them for come. Some don't even come. The experts in the work with the team what we get within the tripartite policy. But one thing they will people they bother with about. If you don't manage the calls away they receive from overseas is so plenty. But some will not complain. Why? When you get responsibility like this, you therefore match the challenges. Within this party, when this side go, the question people they ask, Dr. Marah, what you know faith now? How this thing, how we go? Well, I want to tell you this. We get a responsibility as a committee. Now, professional job and duty. From day one at this place, and all other forums, including Google and Brookfields Hotel, we don't make and clear to the whole world, the whole country, and we party membership for say, law no prevent the outcomes. For very good reasons. The Catholic brother, Chairman said yesterday, Cherry Coco, he said, oh, the new examination for seats. You want for me to go get 100%? Sit the paper first. Correct? Yes, sir. My brother Richard Conte said, this will go the Lord doing Alex Sigma. We as a committee will do diagnosis. Low no is na malaria or na cold no more get. When I get to it, if na malaria, let I can put on. Then we go ask ourselves, waiting for prescribe. The crash now for malaria, they know so. They know so. Some can really give chloroquine because it will make your body crash. But I want my farm, or I want so medicine, not so. The right medicine will cure that illness and kill. I hope you not get me. So when people they say no, we want to know what's going to happen at the end of the day. No. But when I say to sit down think, this is a professional job they do. You think all the institutions, all the countries, you know they put inside and like that in paper? I'm going to say, we get as moral guarantors and accompany the process. And we committee members now say, no, now this therefore happen. You don't therefore happen. Why would you say that? You don't already undermine the credibility of the job. I hope you not get me. Then you get case go to police. You go no more, you don't give statement and say this look like say they sleep themselves for 2 weeks. So they don't call the other parties and say so be correct. I want me to get this. And the position where the committee take, these are the position of the party. These are the position of the chairman of the party, now the position of the secretary general of the party, now the position of the deputy chairman of the party, now the position of Dr. Samura Kamara at the party, now the position of Honorable General Ramadan Bar in position. These are the position where the leadership of the party don't take. Let us not preempt. Let's get on with this review. Let us do the examinations. Let us take a look at everything. And not therefore happen we are now. At the end of the day, we do findings. And then we findings, therefore determine the recommendations. I want to make this very clear. Party leadership. And we at the committee in our position is. This is not foul. So if that is all complete, by the 19th of June, I don't will done so. And we don't get any intention for push-up. That was why, as members of the committee, we make the recommendations that even if now for open this, we don't want experts if we can open this, the other days and the other one drink and all. Expert in Kawi the open number 1, the other expert in number 2, the other expert on number 3, the other expert in number 4. So all will happen simultaneously, easily, within a very short period. Abraham Lincoln, long time ago, president of the US, he said, give me 6 hours for cut the teeth. He said, we'll spend 4 hours for sharpening axe and use only 2 for cutter. Now, so one. But the grave una indulgence. Una all make una know say this committee don't start on a very, very strong leg. We don't start on a very strong footing. We serve God and country. This year for you into democratic credentials as a country. We are across. We have to do it for us and for the next generation. We therefore get this process right. So we talk to them all. Everyone, even the one that way they do things way not the rest well to the committee. You know the bother we. But the responsibility of that and big task along the line. People will understand this basic. But for now, all we send on this message. That's not the preempt the outcome. Not the preempt. If you preempt, we don't point war. Let me say somebody mistake say that Naya. He don't really say that. So you know for you didn't on that review anymore. You know for the day anymore. So one make we all understand that. We promise you now 2 things. We will take the party along. The leadership always stay with you. We brief them abundantly every now and then. And we ask that we will continue to support the Tripartite committee as we don't do. So I want to stop here and say the third leg, the most important leg now they can start now, the review itself. As we talk by that time next week, the consultants and the turn paper then now, they will work with the committee members then for ensure that they look at laws, the institution of ECSL. Did you look at other things that we probably ECSL would not be for provide? We would encourage them for providing documents. In order for high from una or do recommendations, una order for additional recommendations. So whilst I reach here, they're very important for make me colleagues and rock not and waiting to happen. Somebody said Tripartite committee all in agree. The open and the door on agree there. The committee on agree. Expert order come and share them to say and so the great indulgence we have. I hand the mic back to the moderator for invite the various speakers under the 2 sector for main engagement. Then the chairman of the glorious party will make the statement. But before he makes that statement, I will come for you some conclusions. One for Chairman, thank you. Let God bless you now. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Chairman Kaifala Marah. I think say by now we don't know a bit of the issues, but we want to go a bit technical. So they ask the 3 committees for briefly take una through the specifics. Una do ya, una pay attention. Una will say Tripartite committee no leakage. Well today we want you una leakage. So una listen, make una get the leakage. When they start with the legal, we see Stanaya, we can tell we just a few of the legal issues where they deal with. so that we will understand waiting and some of the things we will look at. When he finish, we will go to the next committee. Yeah, just briefly, yeah.
Alright. And so, we say guest lights and the babies. Alright. Okay, I want to stand on existing protocols. Good afternoon to the leadership of the party and all members of the Secretariat of the All People's Congress. My own work here in brief. Now listen, please. My own work here, so I just explain to you briefly because the technical, the legal side of this Tripartite committee is very technical. So if I begin to deep, I will go now. But what's in our work get for the year, and two of we in this committee, now the APC side, me and Lawyer Boniface, now we did the legal. And the government of Sierra Leone said there are two people there, so we always balance. Now, what we do to start off with, because I think so we come at the last briefing, we talk what we don't do. Now, what we do, we take the Constitution of Sierra Leone, 1991 Constitution. Now we try to remove all the laws that were in that Constitution, the way they deal with elections. So when we pull out, then we make out a booklet for a compendium of elections laws. Then from that compendium, we make a matrix. That matrix there, what we do, we put what the laws say presently, how they don't apply and what's how we comment them. So now that work there we do right now. Then we come on there, we take out from the Public Elections Act, what ECSL use for doing elections then. When they ask me for them to examine, especially 2023 elections. The reason they could take that Public Elections Act there for looking to them, because we see say there are boku issues there, where the law say there are lacunas. They are boku all there. So now they all them they want to see how we lock, so that next time when we get elections, whenever come out of this tripartite, we will able for them to amend all that day going forward. I just say breeze on top of the one or two things that we don't see. We don't see say they give a lot of powers to the Electoral Commissioner, Connect. So much so that anything we ask Connect for, they tell you say the act's not say so. Any wrong. We don't see say they don't give them a lot of powers where they go talk say we're not in at the acts, I know we not do and so. But other unfortunate, now please see them what we don't happen. Take for example, then read the results in space of how many minutes and put the results down. When you ask, they say, well, they don't put time and the act when the elections, when the results are being done. So that in itself is something for us, and something for looking to. Take another, I just give a brief example of waiting to find out. Take another example of, in the very corner, how they appoint her. They say in consultation with the other parties. How will they define consultation? Do they put the party around table and then they decide? Do they write to them? Or you just inform them. So all of those things we get for looking to. We find out say the Public Election Act that they enacted 2022 on the eve of the 2023 elections. We therefore be very, very mindful say they guarantee they must not say there's something in that act what they want for. Twist and turn for suit. Then your comfort. So going forward, not not only APC first someone and for the country first to Marah. If not here, we rectify them here. APC can have power, we will get the same issues going forward. So we don't want the effect for long we still will result what we want. And what they complain for them, yes. But we first again for fix the laws there. Where now the electoral commission they deal with for during elections. So I don't want now, but just a brief on the things that they do on the legal side of the tripartite. Fortunately, we don't get one of legal experts. We don't need to gather most of the information here, and they can work with me for see them lacunas there and how we recommend future amendments of the Election Act going forward. So I thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. So these are just teaser, but more critical issues than we get to do with the law, we will examine and we will make recommendations. And when we go around the regions, the people are also very informed and they make very good recommendations and we will take them all on board. But that's how we make a boss. But the story talks more about the institutions.
Thank you very much, Dr. Conte, and I'll join my colleague to stand by existing protocols. I want for update when I'm so far from waiting Dr. Marah will not present. In telling us, say, me and Ambassador Amami Peticho Kuruma, are members of the Institutional Reform Working Group and the Tripartite Committee. We get the same, this is the process, is always good as the outcome. And you know, go buy keke, you expect the keke to be like a Mercedes Benz. This is why, over the years, we don't get serious trust issues between we, the citizens and the country, and the institutions we are responsible for elections, we the local elections management bodies. This surrounds a lot of things, but particularly during from 2018 to 2023, we don't see some major blunders. Institutions will belong to these elections management bodies. We don't see how people behave, either as outlaws or some out of incompetence or complacency. We get the tendency for don't plunge this country to chaos. We see what's happening at Kwanadoko. We see what's happening at Constituency 110. We show blatant institutional failure. And we see where that's not being corrected. We see how we transcend to 2023 such that we get Salon we said on the Guinness Book of Record for being the only country we get government doing of the election results. And now why we do this institutional reform? Now for let me address this public trust deficit we with man call this, we as Sierra Leoneans, the majority don't trust any of the institutions here we get any hand in elections. Be it the police, be it the judiciary, be it the ECSL, be it NCR, we don't trust them. And because of this trust deficit, even at times when they do good work, at some point, we know they accept them. We all now become very suspicious. The other reason why we look at these institutional reforms now, like within the senior colleagues may say, for align ourselves to waiting they happen globally, because Sierra Leone belongs to the global community. We don't see waiting they happen in other countries way good. We don't see, even with sister countries that are Liberia don't conduct elections, with the incumbent president lost election and take vote and congratulate the winner. And for we in Sierra Leone, we don't become almost a beacon of democracy. Now, countryside, people in the commodity in other countries can learn go to elections. But so far, what we get, not doing anything to be proud of. So, with overall aim, Naya, sometimes they institutions they behave the way they behave. Like I say, not to out of their will. Sometimes something wrong with the law. Or sometimes they that the people are self willingly. Some of them don't get the capacity. I tell you, see, you don't go buy the game expect them to make second distance. It's not possible. So we want to identify the challenges there with the institutions they are set in place. We want to see who that is responsible for waiting. We can hold the Inspector General of Police responsible. But me and you and I will agree saying the Inspector General of Police, not the all side to deal with elections will take place. We can hold Corner responsible or blame him, but Corner the all side elections will take place. Who that will be held responsible for waiting? So now that's make we dey conduct this institutional reform. Waiting that we approach, how we dey do this work? We call it the young talker for our robots. We particularly dey collect data on the institutions that we exist. Because we don't assume, say, for instance, the police, we don't know whose agreement dey between the police and ECSL. We don't know whose agreement dey between NCRA and ECSL. We don't know whose agreement dey within the ONS. Because the ONS now they coordinate all other security agencies. We want to see first waiting they get, waiting the documents they see, waiting at the gaps where cause or where get the tendency for cause problem in any election we get to take place in this country. So in that process, we also get the mandate from UTOR to conduct surveys and interview people. Like how we engage with us, we not get the opportunity. Any idea we not get as to how we improve the institutions there, or let we get credible, peaceful, transparent, and acceptable elections in this country. So the elections management bodies are so far away, we don't highlight. We now get the opportunity to recommend others. Like what the coach they say, in regional outreach, somebody will recommend political parties, inter-religious councils, say they were an important institution to also include. We then look at that to see how we will capture the institutions today. One of the most important elections management body now is ECSL. Waiting that we work currently with ECSL, we as institutional reform working group, we want to examine and evaluate waiting that ECSL, the internal policies and guidelines on the following. 1, decision making. 2, the recruitment and training, and promotion of staff members. We all now recall since then where somebody published a document where say the driver and ECSL is salary higher than one. So then they are comparing them to some senior state officials. Waiting guide that kind of ceremonious increase in salary. Waiting at the purpose, waiting at the staffing profile. How then they take decision? Is it that the commission, as how the law define now, is just limited to the chief electoral commissioner and the 5 regional and other 5 regional commissioners, and waiting the current law say about that? Then we take major decisions we get a tendency to affect the overall elections. We want to look at that. We also look at the internal guidelines on transparency. ECSL not always tell we say they are guided by impartiality, neutrality, and independence. Do they have any internal document which dictates how this transparency will be ensured? If they don't get, then we will see that is a status problem. If they get, how far they don't implement implement the guidelines there. If at all they get waiting at the compliance meeting, how do they hold people responsible? Because we don't see, we were not involved in elections over the years, we don't see, we have Boku laws. Actually, if we follow them and comply with them, waiting happen in 2023, June, not for happen. But when somebody don't comply with the law, how will they hold that person accountable? ECSL get that because if you say you are a body weight, impartial, transparent, these are your guiding principles. At least we forget do's and don'ts. And if somebody do one, we forget we see or for an action taken. We all know what happened when I do. Instead of the person we do what they do now when I do, they hold are responsible waiting we read and promote them. Is that how they ensure transparency and accountability? We don't know. So for this, the document that will be needed, Dr. may not mention them. We don't ask for all the compendium of electoral laws. All the laws that we get for with elections in this country, we get them. We don't write PCSL for submit to be the decision-making policies, the human resource manual, the administrative manual, the finance manual. We want to see if actually sometimes they now them law that they on an document they say get problem. Now it makes somebody act the way they act. Or sometimes as somebody not just feel say it larger than life. We don't know. And we also want to see, we don't ask them for any internal or external memorandum of understanding when they get with any other elections management body. Not a secret say the relationship between NCRA and ECSL, it go beyond the legal relationship. They forget institutional relationship because at one point the law of this country say that ECSL for registered voters. At some other point, the law give NCRA the mandate for register every ceremony. So the clawback where it will only be settled when they get institutional relationship we clearly define, not to post no more the grab saying that this way I cooperate with ECSL or ECSL and so I cooperate with NCRA. They forget clearly defined relationship. So we don't ask them for this memorandum of understanding. Don't we see waiting the MOU actually states who that will be waiting, when and how. The other elections management body the way they under we review now the Political Parties Registration Commission and PPRC. We want to look at all relevant documents where PPRC we use for perform the function when and the regulatory function where they get over political parties. We all see how the political climate is constricted. How one party they go round whilst the other them is on the wait. At the end of the day, they give it now campaign calendar. So we don't ask them for all the relevant laws. The man has co-chair report. They don't give it and then promise for apply to whatever we ask them for. The same go for ONS. We don't ask them. They self-fully review all documents we get for do it. Election security, not to the entire security architecture, not get our mandates there. But waiting get for doing elections and security and how professionally all security agencies perform their function relative to elections. The same goes for elections of observer mission, CSO, and the media landscape. They were a very important, we call them indirect elections management bodies. They're influential and they get a role for place. Therefore, we don't ask for all the documents. This is one of them. New longevity. We get the EU observation reports. We look at the reports there and also look at the media law relative to elections. So after that, we will follow the next steps as co-chairman outlined. So far, we are working at this moment and at this time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. days, you know. Now we dey listen. Hello. 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 Una listen now the real elections management. The real elections. Waiting we interested in as it relates to the elections. Do you have to pay attention, yeah?
Where we engage with people offline, the number they wait for listening before they return. But for hearing from waiting they can describe as the elephants in the room, when our elections management subcommittee. We don't name a lot of committees this afternoon, but what I want for them to clearly understand, the Tripartite committee and the committee itself. Then inside the Tripartite committee, the other committee then, where they present to us, so now subcommittees. Now the Tripartite committee agrees say before the experts or consultants that they come, we need for them in working session, because we all, one way or the other, understand what elections business. So that the tripartite consultants, if they come, we will not meet something at the table where they will take off from. And for that reason, we now the subcommittees then get specific responsibilities. And that responsibility, we dey share the information with the people, starting with the stakeholders engagement. But in the APC, we believe say as Sierra Leonean people and people who belong to this party, una na more of we own stakeholders than any other person we will talk to, because una need for know wetin we dey do. And we need to understand every step of the process where we go. For the elections management committee, as they don't present earlier, now we followed it. Dr. Richard Conte, now one person from the All People's Congress. Me when they talk to now the second person from the All People's Congress. On the government side, we get Madam I.J. Kaba and Napoleon, when are the Secretary General of the Sierra Leone People's Party. In the subcommittee for elections management, the work where we do, we don't begin. And we expert when on elections management and electoral standard, they be dealt with we at the commencement of the work where we do. And when we all sit down as a subcommittee, we be agree for them, we specify the work them where each of the experts for can do with we. And at the same time, we also identify the specific documents them when we for ask for from the ECSL in particular and the other elections management committee, elections management bodies them at the country. Out of the documents where we identify over 45 key documents. And I can tell now, out of them 45 key documents about 35 of them now ECSL for giving them. Yes. I repeat, out of the over 45 documents the way we asked for, about 35 of them now ECSL for giving them. And as we coach here don't present to now, the committee don't write ECSL. At first, they talk to we find say they will give and they will cooperate between in this examination process. But I want for them to take patience for listen to then specific documents here what we ask for, because una always loyal be know and be part of waiting they go on by way of elections of 2023. We task as a committee, they said after when we don't look into, when we don't examine the 2023 electoral cycle, they say the other elections then, the thing that when they happen there were not correct. Them also for EPUI for reach the conclusion of re-examination. So anyhow you look at them, we for also consider waiting in the happen during the 2007 elections, the 2012 elections, 2018 elections, and the 2023 elections. So that just take time for call to now the documents them where we on subcommittee, including the government side, the representatives them, where we all agree say ECSL for produce them documents that they for we. Number one, we say on our left any stone unturned. All the press releases them where ECSL we do for the 2023 election. And by the way, 2007 to 2018, let them bring them down. Once them. Stakeholders Conference Communique on the EOM recommendation, the normal practice. Every electoral cycle they be observed by elections observers. And at the end of the electoral cycle, the observers that they produce their reports and recommendations. And in 2023, as well as in other years, the elections observation missions, they submit their recommendation to ECSL. And there was a whole stakeholders conference on the recommendation, who side ECSL and all the stakeholders, they be agreed for work with waiting the observers that we find out at the elections. Elections of 2007 up to the 2023. And that community where they sign say the election where they can conduct in 2023, waiting we don't really say we go work with, and waiting we say we not go work with, that community today, the subcommittee on elections ask for them. We say we want for SIA so that we will see waiting ECSL. By the way, the agree say they go do inside the 2023 elections. Moving forward, we say we want to see the report of the district block proportional representation engagement. ECSL become the district block system very late into the process. When we engagement them at the sub-region, a lot of people then they cry over the district block system, say they don't even understand themselves. And even we ourselves, when our active politicians can find them very difficult with the district block system for even know who that now the member of parliament where they cover me, for example. So for this reason, the subcommittee not be make any mistake for us ECSL for giving a report of the district block system on the manner how they engage people then for reach to this conclusion of the district block system. The presidential directive in relation to section 38 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991 in relation to the proportional representation system. The subcommittee say we want to see that letter where the president direct ECSL for change the election system from the normal system where they when at the constituency system. We want to see that letter there. The consultant they want to see that letter there. So that the expert dem go able to read through and tell me wetin dem get about short directives in relation to the law. Next, we get certain document that were ECSL by the Public Elections Act, where give them the power for prepare the operational manuals. They get a lot of them. The manual them where they teach ECSL, where they direct them on how they will carry out their responsibility. Until they say nobody no gets right for direction of their affairs, but them manual they are now the body where they tell them how they for carry on their affairs. And never should we forget for say the guiding principles, one of them now the ECSL not to independence no more, but also now accountability. So this process it ensures say we make the ECSL be accountable to the people of Sierra Leone. They can talk a lot about the independence, but they don't can talk a lot about the accountability. So we now the subcommittee say the manuals and where they deal with voter registration, therefore give them officially. Therefore give the exhibition and inquiry manual. Therefore give the voter ID card issuing manual. Therefore give the nomination manual. Therefore giving the polling and counting procedures manual, and also therefore provide me with the strategic plan where officially direct them on how they will implement the work as ECSL. Moving forward, we say the ECSL for provide for we all the nominees of political parties for the elections where we examine from the 2023 downwards. Therefore, giving the list of nominees with candidates the way we nominate to them. Again, therefore, giving a comprehensive list of the one that will win when they announce it, they win. Because we get an issue up to this moment in above where we cancel them, take today they must swear there even though they win the election. So we let the act say, when I give you the list where we will submit as candidate list to them, then I also give you a comprehensive list of who that win. So that we will see we candidates them where win for the local council in above for see whether in fact they will win or they not be win. We make take today and all swear they in. So we want that list there. We also request from the ECSL for let them give me a report on the civic and voter education, where we do the engagement offline. Almost speaker after every speaker, they tell me say the kind way how information will come out from ECSL, then not be understand nothing. They even recommend say this civic or voter education make them remove them from ECSL because the work look too popular they are. Let them get a special body where they inform people about election business, other than for take this huge responsibility for left into the hands of ECSL, where don't people say they not be able to do them. The way how people they will understand the processes in elections. So they ask for that report, say, let them present them to the Tripartite committee. Also, we want the human resource manual. That is, we just want to know waiting at the yardstick them for recruit people in an ECSL. The manual where they direct how for recruit people in an ECSL. Because in the past election, we all get different story them as to the people and where ECSL they recruit in relation to the area the way they come on and the country, or the language where they talk, or the kind others from above where they believe say be the cap on the recruitment of people where they work for ECSL. So we want the ECSL staff manual. Besides, we also ask for the finance and administrative manual and the communication policy as well. But for let I move further, we say one of the things where the observers they make very clear in the report, starting with the Carter Center, the European Union, as well as new. Like in the case of the Carter Center, they say a lot of things about the process of tallying and collation of results in the 2023 election. Now I just quote shortly waiting Carter Center say. They say the Carter Center does not have confidence that the result of the presidential election reflects the will of the people due to the lack of transparency during tabulation. So for we, as a committee, a subcommittee on elections management, we say we want for the tallying procedures and let us show we in fact the logbook who side they enter the shipment of the results where represent the 60 and 40% election result wey dem announce. Agowale una be with me. Wetin we dey say so? Until them where we don't see them for about 4 months now they wait for the gift from me. So there we are with me. And also we want for tell that say the committee don't ask for the procedures where ECSL they use to transmit results from regional centers to the national tally center. And over and above all, the elephants at the home, the results ECSL for cow them. Yes? And all this layout to now, not to win no more from the All People's Congress side, agree for put down with the experts. The government representatives, they when we put them documents there, and let them acknowledge saying that so it will be. Now, the other institution where we write to are the NCRA. But we don't write to the NCRA for giving documents where exclusively relates to them. NCRA and ECSL are twin compass fellows. The one not they move without the other in the registration process. The one not they move without the other in the voter registration final register. The transmission of the details from NCRA to the ECSL, they all be the one together. So that document I can call, we ask ECSL as well as NCRA for providing for me. For example, the report on the voter registration and registration data export. How them pull the people that will register. Now NCRA list for send and go to ECSL. And I want for long that member say this example always a big time. Around 2020 and 2021, NCRA be do a registration.
provide principal documents and ways we ask the media for provide for we. We also ask statistics and young for provide for we, as well as the ONS, SLP, and the RS staff. And all the documents and ways we ask them to provide are all linked to election business. So, for this presentation, one for Ashok Ase, the expert on election standards, where with we, the experts on voter registration, we don't look into so we get special experts where now on such normal that the airport give attention to. We also get experts where now on voter registration normal.
Yeah, so as I indicate to about the expert there, on elections management, we get special experts on election standards. And we also get a special expert on voter registration. Then we get a special expert on results. And the committee don't make it very easy for women. With the permission of the co-chair, I want for inform and say the committee get an email address where every Sierra Leonean, every institution for send its submission to by way of expert papers, by way of documents, by way of every contribution where each and every individual want for give to the committee, because we believe say not only waiting at the Tripartite committee, we will do everything. We're not going to do this work devoid of especially the media practitioners, where they all are part of this process, the election process. So for that reason, the email address, if you get pen, one for you copy and you book. And help for disseminate this email address, let Sierra Leoneans both at home and abroad for make them get them, let them send their submission to the Tripartite committee. The email now CPCES Sierra Leone at gmail.com. Again, CPCES Sierra Leone at gmail.com. So if we say we talk to now from the elections management email address, somebody they ask like small letters, not to. Yeah. We go share this email now with platforms and then now we get them. So if we talk to now this afternoon, the work where we don't do in 4 months, it's not go easy. Unless we explain everything inside 1 hour. So if that's why I want for stop here and tell you now plenty thinking. Thank you.
know say we don't get enough for you today. And like I stated earlier, I really plead, especially to the media houses who we invite, for make them do it justice, for able to report this very well. And I also appeal to you them, especially with brother and sister in the diaspora. We all get with opinion how we view this, but let we report accurately and let we pass on the right information. Waiting, we expect it will only come to fruition if we allow the members of the committee to do their work. Now, we will take few questions. That are the key preference to the invited media houses there, the mainstream media houses. Because we want to make them able to disseminate this for me very well. We will in-house. We will do it later. Why you the mind just state your name, you media house, and you ask the question. No preambles, please. Straight to the question. Thank you very much.
Yes, and then we are exclusive slogan. And Dr. Marah, you don't mention Boku institution where we don't give a document. But ECS not give it still long. Side of clear. If ECS not given a documents now, what you want to go next? And the documents the owner don't receive so far. What's in an assessment for tonight? Thank you.
I want to ask the General. How serious will you take on the European report of 2020-2021? What are the previous issues there? How far will you participate that report in all seriousness? First question for you, sir. How far will you take serious from the European Union of the report of 2020-2021 report? What are the three issues, namely the ECSL, the judiciary, and the police? According to the report, say the three things should have themselves, make the public not to get trust in them before the election or pre-election. How far do you participate that in all seriousness? Then come to the legal council of committee. Marah. So to you, we want to know if the 2022 election act is superseding 1991 constitution as a legal policy. Because if you look at the Mutual Agreement, it's very similar to be the outcome of our constitution. According to the Mutual Agreement and the new Resolution 3 specific way to say if the election of international best practice and the laws of civil law, and according to legal people, they say the election the acts of 2023 non-matter at all. And according to them, say the recommendation of the election body management, the recommendation will be implemented and actionable. And according to Dr. Marah, the Senate Development, the last tweet of the American ambassador when the director of selection of the NCC, this is the last tweet, the very clear, he said the delegation also meets majority and minority leaders of parliament to discuss the important role Parliament play in implementing the recommendation of election review committee into law. What do I think of the American ambassador that's of interest?
I'm able to I'm just out for no resolution 3 co-chair how far with members of parliament, mayors, chairmen across the country. If you're not paying enough, yeah, how far with regards to the salary. And then I get a concern with regards to all the documents there where the subcommittees are not they ask because we see inside paramount chief there interfere during this election for intimidate citizens. We now also get the mandate for acts and paramount chief or the council of paramount chief. What are the mandates they get when they interfere for intimidate people during the just concluded election? Thank you very much.
I write for New Citizen newspaper. A question to the co-chair. Just going to tell about the according to the terms of reference. What I want to know is what will be the benchmark, right, for making a recommendation or a proposal? Because most of the subcommittees they are on their own part, their representative, the government, their representative. So in a situation where there is clash, waiting goes to pass it. Then secondly, I want to know the women phone and use for select the experts they make up. Thank you.
Over to you, and team.
Okay. I want to say a big thank you to the people who ask questions. I think their questions are all very relevant and they're all important. And walk backwards. New citizen, correct? You asked, so which benchmark will use when it comes to recommendations as far as the subcommittee is concerned, in the main committee concerned, and what will be the situation if there is a clash? Not to say between and the others. Go to that question you asked. Okay. We don't get of proceedings until we say when we start this particular process, we have a group of procedures which will guide how we go about decision making. To a very large extent, so far, almost all the decisions we don't make are by consensus. Now, if we reach this situation where things become tenuous and difficult that we may reconcile at all, that is why we get a third co-chair. We will mediate. On top of that, we get a very strong layer of moral guarantors. And then moral guarantors fall in two categories. You get national moral guarantors, where you get paramount chiefs, you get other political parties, you get interreligious bodies, where then will come in for mediation. On the other hand, you get the one that went international. In fact, we get 3 of them drawn from the Commonwealth, from the AU as well as ECOWAS. We can work with we into money for ensure that we get the agreement for national unity. Now, waiting we for agreeing into money, for me to sign that agreement within 3 days. Then people when you work with me, then they are alive and they're ready for them in any time for assistance. So we get backstop, get procedures for ensure that where there are challenges we will find a way for resolve them. That's okay? Okay. That is why we get resolution 8 Committee of Moral Guarantors and then split into 2. Now, it's a which criteria we use for select experts. Okay. When we sign the terms of reference the last time we tell when I say the international community, like the UN and others, they lead the initiative for recruit. We on the side no go do one, government on the side no go do one. So waiting the institutions that they do, and for go into the database, for selecting a good number of experts, share the CVs with me, and do a breakdown of the activities with them you don't get the experiences, the strengths and the weaknesses. Then that would be the Tripartite committee around for look at them and for make a decision. I give an example. Recently, we make one decision online. Go only reaching and then south and east. We the north, northwest to make one decision, we make 2. Go down and say, I'm not going to go for plenary. So we come back, we go in a plenary, we sit down, we go back and forth, we agree. Sometimes we they agree. When they ask for make them send additional list, Because people believe say one of this particular expert not fix in this situation. So now so we don't know one and they don't work. That was how they could for the good, then good experts there and we all pleased with them. Now, my brother asked about what you say about paramount chiefs and interference into elections. Not to say. Now, we tell you and say this is an open process. We inform and say when we go up country, every level, every point, we make sure we engage stakeholders. We engage paramount chiefs. If I let listen to paramount chiefs, those from paramount chiefs they say we're gonna rice break. Fire they on top, fire they on down. The opposition they say we dey under. Crowd themselves they say we dey under. So they talk for we. Let's get a new story. Let's get the new challenges. But at the end of the day, especially civil society and political parties complain about some of them in the day. But the good news is, we take all their suggestions on board. When we stop as a committee for both that elections management bodies and stakeholders in contribution, then we will take that into consideration and see which recommendations we make. At a point, in fact, the idea comes, for example, now to talk of say, a fight for making chiefs and once and for all, use this as an opportunity for say, when I carve out a role for me, don't be very clear as what will be the role of paramount chiefs. If we therefore be independent, let us be independent. So then brilliant suggestions and come take note of them and we believe it will inform the work. Now somebody asked about whether MPs or councillors have been paid. No, not yet. The last time I talked to the mayor of Freetown, I engaged the chairman for rural about the MPs and say, I think they get some allowance for the process 2 months. But we get the agreement for national unity, and at this point, we don't get a quartet with the need. That's our chief minister, Dr. Rama, Dr. Samura, and himself. We will meet once a while for local implementation of the national unity agreement. Self within the APC, we get to brother Honorable Jerry Boko, and the team will lead the implementation of the other resolution. Then we as a party don't say that particular agreement for national unity, that particular matrix, the fight for me to mount online so that both stakeholders can win the fuel. So when we get a platform for that, it will go a long way for influence government and the APC for ensuring that we implement that. So we are on it. In fact, this afternoon, Ashara will check the general and say the updated our government and we don't send out around. Make them work with chief sharing for data, especially for the Resolution 4, we get for do with prisoners as well as politically motivated cases. So that is one point. Now, somebody saying, I say make we not preempt, but the US ambassador tweet, he said resources there for ensure that the US government supports the implementation of electoral reform, especially on the legal side, where they work with parliament. Not so, somebody mentioned that. I think I mentioned that as well when I talk. I say the US within that resource envelope, that 1.5 in there, then keep some for ensure that they support the implementation of the recommendations. That's completely different from talking about rerun or no rerun. Completely different. And just when we see lawyer, the National Publicity Secretary George Shah with me, when somebody writes it, Dr. Marah say, the US government will provide additional resources. I never said so. I never did. So they will find when we report, people report the right things. We will not scope. Now, somebody asked whether the PA is superseded the Constitution of 1991. No. We don't say that they call the 1991 Constitution the ground on, we agree. But there are also other laws. For example, Access to Information Act. So this is our government. Now, a chain reaction of laws and rules and regs So when you come here, you go on that side, they tell you, say, no, stop. Because you know they are as well. So, a complex web of laws. But like we say, resolution 3 say, recommendations shall, not will, shall, will mandatory, be actionable and implemented. So that very strong provision. We want to continue for the last month. Whilst the 1991 Constitution remains strong. We don't also say that the work we will do as a committee therefore go hand in hand with waiting they happen as far as the Constitution is concerned. So make we not go to them. That then do one thing, at the end of the day we'll make some recommendations, they will come back for make the Constitution take a look at that. No. So we ask them go concurrently. And in fact, we ask and when we do, so there will be synergy between waiting Parliament they do for reviewing the Constitution, as well as recommendations we get from it on electoral reforms as far as the laws are concerned. Somebody say, waiting will make of, okay, somebody say, what do we go do if ECSL refuse not so for provide documents? Well, I just want to say this and I want to make it simple. This job will be a big and top pathway. A big pathway as committees, a big pass the party, a big pass government, a big pass we all, and the country they above. And when they present to tell and say, we got a good number of international stakeholders who are already invested in this. I come to the country, not so. And now the experts they lay on the ground for do the work. Then it's difficult to. So we hope say moral suasion from amongst the political parties within government, as well as the goodwill on the part of the partners for intervene, as well as the one that we can mediate. We get plenty outlets of influence we can compare on the ECSL for ensure that please. And this is very important, make us say this. What you do also is very, very important for electoral representation. It's very important. Not just 2023, but in the touch on the electoral feature of this country. If we don't get them right, then we are doomed. And so therefore, nobody will support anybody for ensure that this no go. We therefore do the utmost. We, government on their part, as well as partners, for ensure that this particular review becomes successful. So in my heart of heart, doubt in mind, I strongly do believe that along the line, reason will come in. With experts now on the ground, that ECSL, NCRA, and all others will walk along with the good of God and God. Now somebody say, waiting, I just go over this because of time. Somebody say, waiting, we make of the 2021 report of the election of the EU, not so, of the EU recommendations. We take them very seriously. Not only that we take them seriously, but these are issues where Dr. Richard Ponte, David, Prince Sulana, and even National Publicity Secretary, where they will represent the party and DCSL, take them forward. In fact, at a point, they get a meeting where the stakeholders sit around the table and ask themselves, what can we implement? What are implementable? Let us tell you, don't we agree on waiting DCSL to do? They agree, and not only agree, they sign. So we as a party will take that very seriously, not just now, but previously as well. Thank you.
Make I just throw a bit more light on this last question. When that issue may happen, maybe happen to be one of the people that we pay and then be sent to the conference Buffets Hotel. And we not only go there and make a statement, but we also go with a position paper where the party clearly outline in position of all of the recommendations from the election intervention missions. And I also want to clarify the fact say this process where we dey go on for we not to a subjective process. Not to about how we feel or how Kaifala Marah feel or how anybody at the committee feel. A very objective process. At the first level, you get the laws. That's what we write them. They're very clear. If you read the laws, they talk a lot about this Public Elections Act. When you look on the issue of publication of the results, section 53, 52, and 93, it's very clear how it requires to let them publish the results. If you go section 84 of the Public Elections Act, it's very clear say who say they overvote and for cancel. It's very clear. If you go section 92, 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Public Elections Act, it's also very clear on the processes where they for use for tallying the results from the station right up to the national. So when we present the case as APC, they are based on the law. Not to what we think or what we feel. And it's very, very clear. And we want from them to know say, when we go yonder, that for God and country. Elections for we. Now the only opportunity where the average person in Sierra Leone get for the time would have for governor. And so therefore when the person votes, he votes for count. Finish. And we rather say anybody don't do anything wrong. We don't say anybody don't do anything wrong at this stage. We say let we examine. Una say una don't win. Let we see the results. How una don't win this winner. Simple. We don't say anything don't go wrong. But when they produce them, let we see. Because they don't say they don't tally results. Every district they tally, they say all the party they sign, all the observer they sign, they get to a producer. Let we see. Simple. And they don't free for producer. At least inside the committee, we don't really say, let we ask for it. So let we wait and see. But we believe, say, ECSF, 110% they do the right thing. We believe. Let me just bring our own. Understand? Let me just bring our Lord put this matter to rest once and for all. Let God make it.
Thank you very much. You know, I'm sure any questions, they all will be repeated. So, you get something different from what they don't ask. Listen, we David don't provide the email. But we will take just two more. Just two. Thank you very much.
Yes, today, as a journalist, a lot of us in civil society actors know the role ways on civil society, they know these elections here, or quote unquote, predict the elections. I want to know which the committee will look at the role of media and certain civil society organizations. I would very categorical mention Nigeria. Few weeks elections, they do a forecast where by all indications we go very close to what ECSF end up for recommend. So what the committee go look at some actions where society.
Based on the political business we understand, say, the Roman player, say, chairman of the and they enter particular side. As we as a journalist, for we take these issues to the public, we don't see Kaifala Marah don't give even at the coach now, they don't give you their own part of their own investigation. So we want a statement of chairman of the Thank you. statement. So probably you will have to tell us and you read the statement, then we respond. Because you're not correct, a wrong statement, and nobody will make an answer. So say what tell us and you read.
Okay.
Anyway, for help now and help the members that we have, the committee were the head ICC resolution 4, and they deal with the release of prisoners. Not to be the head of the committee. Now, Menke, the head of the committee, and they work in concert with the lawyers. The committee will be the head. If you want the tripartite to do so, the committee they follow them. We your committee will cover all resolutions 1 to 8. We work as let's say ICC, internal coordinating committee. We work and coordinate all what the resolutions they say. Hope are clear. Now the million committee they do, and in the committee you get members that they will deal with resolution 4, members of the tripartite committee, even the people that will provide expert support to the tripartite committee, the members of the ICC, the dynamic committee. And then committee, as I said, we are committee internal, unlike the tripartite committee way out. Government therefore set up a committee where therefore comprised of ONS, the police, the Human Rights Commission, where therefore deal with the release of prisoners, not to an APC committee, just the credit tripartite, not to an APC committee. We understand, we said? When they set up that committee, we all committee where internal will work with that committee for make sure they do their work. But the committee will be the head in all embracing and all encompassing. Not to one resolution we do it. Thank you very much.
Okay. The role of the media and some civil society organizations. I want to address the good gentleman here. You know, what would they do now? That is why when we go around the country, we engage respective sections of society. The question somebody will ask about paramount chiefs, if we not be engaged in it, trust me, we must struggle for response, not so. But we will always think ahead of people, ensure that we reach out to relevant players. We therefore look at people who will influence elections, how things don't get wrong over time, especially 2023, and how badly it goes. That is why the role of the media, what CSOs that they do, as far as the interaction concerned around elections, either directly with EMBs, that is election management bodies, or ECSN in particular, these are things we will get for look at and make recommendations. My brother made mention of new reports. Not so, all the money they get for the process, including other reports that we lay out. We just say, and Richard made mention of this, and David, that we open to the public all other documents, all other situations, so anybody want for floating, make them float out. But at the end of the day, we want to tell all this. And it's not just us, but the tripartite committee as a whole, that we work therefore all-encompassing and all-inclusive. I hope that gets me. What I mean all-encompassing, they cover a broad range of anything we get for those elections. And any section of society or institution or group of institutions will get something for you to elections, we therefore look at them critically. how they positively or negatively influence elections, we get for look at them. And reach a point where we say, well, now so go one make civil societies can trust themselves going forward. How independent it can be, and at this role we believe to say the media are supposed to play. In McKinney, I tell the media, say, if I want to attend, but one thing we go want to from now going forward, maybe not here today, but through the email account. Now, for tell me exactly how we want the media position as far as elections concerned. Which role we want for play, especially when we get for youth outreach. Somebody say we want independent agency for continue for teach people on election, so that the voice votes will go plenty, so that people will know their rights. We can't wait for this SL 2 months for the election, then we need to see. Is there a role for the media in that? I hope I get it. So these are some of the things we will take into consideration for ensure that we clearly make recommendations which will influence the role of the media as well as civil society. Whether negative or positive, we will try to find the middle ground for waiting to the elections going forward. On this point, in supporting the party, in ensuring that we help the party go forward for address this issue. I want to honor one thing at the back of our mind. That at the end of the day, this particular exercise for me what we will help for. We get to understand what you need for the country. I just want to allude to a few things. Some of them talk say I don't know right for me to get independent. But when you look back, we as a country have the first of everything. If I reach a point, the British colonial office ruled the whole of West Africa from Sierra Leone, using Sierra Leone as the headquarters. First institution of Ireland for the college. First printing press. Freetown and the first municipality, the first city in the whole of Africa. We lost this. That is us. From the 1930s, every election we get people to go to court. One of the learned lawyers on this committee, not from me, from government side, said all the election petition will not ever go to the court. They no rule on the substance of the case. Now, technical ground and just to take them out. That is our judiciary. I don't understand. So, you find yourself in a very big town. A tough and difficult job to get. But we for begin for change, for look at one thing, for move this country forward with mindset. The right all of this shall be implemented. To be implemented, the partners and camp, then do it here. But at the end of the day, if we not change how they behave, how they do things, even internally within the party, they can go. Not begin to understand that today at a crossroad, the more cohesive we be as a party, the more the outcome will look away in this country. We fight so much internally. We push ourselves so much internally. We destroy ourselves so much internally. And forget the big picture out there. And what is this big picture? It's an economy going to perform. Party members, some still conservatives of these are the issues at a level 2 for the student for begin to talk about and see how we address them. But when you take up the social media, it's not only they destroy me, they destroy internally amongst yourself. Therefore, be careful. Be careful. For me personally, as a committee, we will not worry, we don't talk say we're ready for everything. We know for any criticism. We're ready for move this forward. Because that is our charge, that is our burden. But not we all in smaller groups know what to do. Sorry, I don't talk too much. I want to say that all these stories like Jama will comment them. Out of that passion for law, something just to make and go on and apologies, Mr. Jama. But Lord, be careful with the thing you do. We want to tell them how to make God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, comrades all, members of the Fourth Estate, we tell you now plenty thank you for coming. We now hearing from the committee. I will now ask for now patiently wait and hearing from the national chairman of the party, when Alhaji Honorable Minkailu Masaru.
We almost negotiate now. And I'm glad say Dr. Marah is so enthused, so worked up. He don't even almost do wake up for that. Thank you very much, Dr. Marah. At this point, I want to assure Una Wedinaya, the people within Sierra Leone and the diaspora, for say the All People's Congress Party, particularly its leadership, give unstinted support to the Tripartite Committee. Now we set them, now we nominate who are them for David, and we not go undermine them because we create them. I want let we all know this, and out of this jurisdiction, let the diaspora know that the APC leadership fully support the Tripartite Committee. And alongside, I want to thank the Ephesians at home and abroad for the patience and understanding we have done so far. Sierra Leone, then at the crossroads. A defining moment we can approach to. A defining moment we go put we in a position of the world where people that will emulate if we go and right. If we do and wrong, history will judge me and generations yet unborn will judge this country. So for us, not talk about Minkailu Mansari, not talk about the deputy, Comrade O.F. Sanet, not talk about the Secretary General, and for the soul of Sierra Leone. Now that's make we dey give all with might and strength supporting the Tripartite. The importance of engaging now in manifold. This will avoid the misrepresentations which can normally come by the social media, the mischief which they can normally create by the social media, the vilification and the suspicions which they are social media. Today, we were there, particularly the media houses when are reputable ones there, we pray and hope that they will disseminate within the get narrative correctly and properly. We now want to send an edited reporting. We will give room to people that are being skilled with waiting up to narrative. And I believe, say, this engagement, when we don't decide, say, periodically we will call now. We will enhance and assist on our activities and operations such that everybody will say, yes, the media don't restitute the credibility in disseminating information. And not to the media no more. Even when I always sit down, I hope say, oh, we sit down here. We not just the look we had here at the outside. The tripartite, they get responsibility for carrying. And a sacred responsibility. And not a light one, a very serious responsibility. Now the one whole country governance architecture for the prosperity of the country. Now the one whole country in democracy, the one whole country in development one, in prosperity, in peace, in tranquility and security. Now we don't put at the hands of the tripartite community. So I want to call upon you all in we prayers, let me remember them so that they will continue for do the good work they don't start for. And for us, we are mischief makers and plenty in this country. Because, like we didn't say this, and others, they now call for. That's what's here. Not really call for. So, as I said, China just don't tell me, say, hello? We're happy that on our patience up to this time. And what did they happen inside this hall? Just to tell me, say, the problems of the country still need to be addressed. 10 minutes you get light, 1 hour you get blackout. And that they exist right now. But we are, I want to the left now. Let me go explain in good faith for the benefit of this nation. This country, not the only country where we get. For there we get into conclaves, we get into entities, we get into kabunus, for create mischief in the party. In other words, create suspicion as you see this person, he talk to nowadays suspected. In other words, the party need for them to unite. The party need for them to reconcile, then we give the wounds to their emotions. And only when we come together, now you go make all this exercise where we brothers and sisters that they go through so, but when they don't undertake, now you go put in a pedestal, wait for make APC win elections, come the time where elections come. And for us, again, this work that they do, they were put in a state of preparedness. They were put in a
state of preparedness. If they say that tomorrow an election, let the election not be to pass it down. Now, when they say, Tripartite, the party will go on with the activities, then the party will do the work. We don't decide, say, fortnightly, we're going to call press briefings or update the party members and the whole country on waiting with the party. As I said, this is a dividing moment. 2024, by June this month, they don't divide the year. By the time they make up, it's not done. 2025, year where we for really consolidate preparations. And 2026, a year of election, up to 2028. But for now, let me follow up and support the tripartite. The outcome of that recommendation, now go legally for take a definite position as to where we want to go and as to where we embrace ourselves. So for the account, I don't present I want on behalf of the leadership of the party. But tell you that Boku technique. When I don't have attention, when I don't think, because they listen, they grab attention, waiting the governments again for council. Tell you now, let's bless the secretary. Let God bless you, let God bless our we don't come to the conclusion now. Before we sing the victory song, okay, members of the fourth estate, the usual place to say when I meet with the deputy. When I go downstairs, ground floor, the deputy national publicity section will meet with you now. It's very important. Now we go there now. Thank you all very much. Victory song. There is